Okay, busy week in the speed shop this week. Just thought I'd do a quick roundup video. I've got some individual videos to upload, but just thought I'd talk about these three bikes, or what I've been doing with these three bikes, because I've been out on all three this week. So Himalayan 411, Voge 300 Rally, and CRF 300 Rally. First day of the week, I went out on the Voge 300 just to do some trail miles, really, just to finish breaking it in, just to keep doing some miles on this tyre, this AX41 and Battle Axe. Bridgestone, which I've been really impressed with actually. It's given me a lot of front end confidence, and just all in all, still really enjoying the bike. I think every time I get on it, I think I'm going to find fault with it this time, which I've not seen before. But no, on the trails, the agility and the enjoyment that you get in this bike is actually really high, and I've got to say, as a day-to-day trail bike with some road capability, it's proven itself very good, the Voge, and I can see it starting to take off. I'm not sure how sales are, I'm not sure how strong they are, but there's certainly a lot of interest on the forums, and there's a lot of people buying the bike and using the bike, which is very much in keeping with the Himalayan. And one of the things I did do this week was go out with a friend, Ben, who was on the CRF Voge video, and we took out the 411 and the Voge to see which one we preferred, or to see which suited which conditions best. And I mean, Ben has just bought a Voge 300 Rally, and he used to own a Himalayan, so it was actually really useful to put him back on a Himalayan to discuss the pros and cons of each. And I think we came to the conclusion that both bikes are very, very good, certainly for the money. You definitely feel the extra weight of the Himalayan. It's about 35 kilos over the weight of the Voge, and you do feel that certainly on the trails. Also, you've got more suspension travel on the Voge, and more ground clearance, which go definitely in its favour off-road, certainly if you can deal with a 920mm seat. But what we found with the Himalayan is it just works as this great all-round package on choppy or frosty, wet, slushy roads, tarmac roads. It had been icy throughout the week. It just gives you so much confidence, the Himalayan. Not necessarily more than the Voge, but it just feels like it's so planted, so stable, that you could ride it in any conditions and the bike would never become unsettled. On the trails, obviously, it carries its weight. It carries its weight very well, i.e. low down, but it definitely feels a heavier mass than the Voge or the CRF. So I think you've got to look at it. What am I going to do? Am I going to really want to tackle some trails? Then naturally you're going to pivot towards the Voge. If you're going to do quite a lot of road work and want a really nice, relaxed road ride with some trail capability, than the Himalayan. But both bikes for £4,000 at the minute is kind of just a no-brainer on either bike, really. I don't think you can go wrong. One of the other days went out this week, took out Vanessa and her partner Stuart, both of who are booked on a trip to Nepal and up to Tibet, with nomadic nights in April. Now, Vanessa's only been riding maybe 2 years or so, passed the test in April, so not a lot of experience and no off-road experience. The trip she's doing is mainly on sort of sealed roads in Nepal, but you know, anything could happen in those kind of countries or in those environments, and you might have to deal with some detours, and I think there's 10% dirt road riding. So she just wanted to build her confidence on the Himalayan, the bike she was going to be riding over there. So we started off with to me, a basics, bike control, bike handling, manoeuvring the bike, letting the bike lean into your hip so you can walk it around with confidence. So overcoming the mass and the intimidation of the mass of a motorcycle. Certainly Himalayan, it's not a light bike at 200 kilos, it's quite a heavy bike, and you've got to learn how to manoeuvre that mass, which is not only going to help you off-road, but also in car parks and at junctions and all that sort of thing. So just getting used to it. And I think the central element of control on any bike is clutch. So we did a lot of clutch work, walking the bike on the clutch, just so you can walk it in a circle on the clutch. You've got that biting point down to a T. So if you can control the biting point, then you can control the bike off-road, or whenever you face any obstacle. I mean, like we were turning into a junction and it looked icy, so you just need that clutch just to bring that clutch in to control the bike. Not to come to a stop, but just to bring the bike underneath you, to bring it under your control. And I think a lot of riders just ride with the clutch out all the time, unless they wanted to come to a dead stop. But if you can work the clutch really nicely and ride at a very slow speed, it gives you thinking time to deal with the obstacles. So we did kind of some open track flowing stuff just to get used to the movement of a bike on dirt terrain. And then we also did some sort of long, deep puddles and then a river crossing, which really bring home the need to be able to control the power on the clutch and work the clutch. And I think after 2 days, I think I think she was far more competent than she was confident. But I think after 2 days, built confidence up to the point where hopefully I think she's very confident that she'll be able to do that trip no problems, and I think she will, because if I was to generalise what I find with female riders, is that they can lack some confidence, but they have more ability than they think, and actually have very good balance and have very good dexterity. And I think sometimes it can just be a case of giving them the confidence to believe that they can do it, which they always can. And in fairness, a novice female rider, in my experience, learns quicker and is a safer pair of hands than a male novice who is still sidetracked by his own ego. You know, and a male generally has to feel like they're progressing quick and doing tough stuff, whereas I think maybe ladies can progress more gradually and progressively. So yeah, and that's it. Well, I'm off next week, to pick up the Triumph 400X that I've got, buying that from Chester up in top of Wales. So I shall be riding back down from Wales and doing some trails en route, so we'll see how that goes, the 400X. And then also tonight I'm getting delivery of a Benelli TRK 702, which is just on loan from the importer MotoGP. Amazingly, they're still loaning me bikes. I haven't done so many miles on that test bike they gave me at the Voge. So that's going to be here with me for a week, and I just want to find out what that Benelli's like. You know, is it... I mean, it's excellent value, £6,500 for a 75 brake horsepower bike with free luggage. I mean, you can't go wrong, really. My natural competitor for me will be the Moto Morini 650 that I've been riding for the last few years. Same engine, just slightly different power outputs. And I'll be interested to see how it varies and differs, or has similarities to that. So yeah, all busy in the speed shop. Finally going to get it painted out and sorted for the coming season. Got a lot to do. Just planning an Iceland trip in July, and then the America one in April, Land's End Johnny Groats in June, Ireland in May, Spain in August, Italian Alps in July, I think. I can't remember, I get it confused. So that's it. Just want to do a quick update and just show you what I've been up to. If anybody wants to come down and wants to do any one-on-ones, I just get in touch with me through that. I've got the bikes, I'll have the new 400X Triumph, and I should also be getting a 452 Himalayan, and then I'll also be putting on some group rides through the website, which is dorothyspeedshop.com. So yes, it always takes me a while to clarify exactly what I'm doing in life, if I'm honest, but I'm always doing something. So if you're wanting to, I guess, experience motorcycling on these smaller bikes, it's where my passion is, which hopefully I can share with other people. So that's where we're at. All right, cheers, bye.